It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Meloni.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and happy Friday here, and welcome to another edition of Focus Fridays here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. This brought to you in conjunction with Juliann Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, bringing out the CEO and you, and you can learn more about her throughout the discussion and her different events that go on, including her many CEO exchanges, of which we'll mention a number of times throughout the hour, over at focusonyoustrategy.com. So, Juliann, welcome back to another edition of Focus Fridays.
Good morning, Jamie. It's so great to be here.
So, tell us a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today and some of the guests that are in studio with us today.
We have an amazing group of ladies today, very talented experts on branding and marketing your business. We're going to talk about why it's important to understand your brand, and also we're going to talk about why it's important to hire women like this.
Okay.
They're amazing.
And that's just part of what Juliann Nichols does with Focus on You Strategy. It's all about developing your brand, your niche, and bringing out the CEO in you. And she also does this in a number of different ways. In addition to Focus Friday, she also has a Facebook group up on over on Facebook. So search for Focus on You. Focus Fridays, and get involved in the discussion. But your CEO exchanges, you put those on throughout the month. When's the next one coming up? And tell us a little bit about this.
The next one is Thursday, July 21st. It's at the C1 Bank on 4th Street North in St. Petersburg. It's limited to 10 people, so if you're interested at all, you want to make sure you get your seat. And then the next one after that is the following Tuesday in Dade City at the First National Bank of Pasco, and one of our guests today is actually our facilitator for that one.
Very cool. And again, focusonyoustrategy.com for more information on that. So in studio with us today is Laura Saig, President and Chief Design Officer with Laura's Design Studio, and also Jennifer Frazier, Creative Director and Senior Copywriter for The Creative Stable, and then Susie Pakuch, owner of Design the Customer Conversation. So ladies, all welcome to the program today. And Laura, we're going to begin with you. Let's just say, why is it important to have a logo in a vector format, and what is a vector format?
Good morning. Vector format is it's a mathematical equation that allows your graphic to expand as large as you want. So a lot of times people get logos in like a JPEG format, and they can only use it so large. So if you want to do like a big banner or a sign on your truck, that's not going to work. So eventually what happens is you end up having a graphic designer, again, redesign your logo in a vector format so that you can actually use it, that it can actually be scalable.
Okay, so people come to you and they don't have a logo, which a lot of businesses do not have a logo, which I'm surprised about, including some of my very good friends who I remind them all the time, get a logo. So would they come to you for the overall design of the logo as well? Okay.
Yes. If you're starting a new business or even rebranding your business, people will come to me, and I have kind of like a creative brief for logos. So, I'll have you fill that out, and then we can kind of go over it together to decide, what's your company's personality and all that information. So we can now start on the look of what your business is going to be, and it's very important because it's kind of like the foundation of your house. So you want to kind of build upon your logo and your
because
brand.
It all starts with the logo whenever you're doing your
It
business.
does, and I'm just amazed that some people start with a website, and I'm just like, how do you even know what it's going to look like?
When I designed this radio show, my first thing was getting a logo, and I used one of those 99 design sites and did a little contest. That's where my logo came from. But yeah, you got to start with the logo.
Exactly.
Actually, Laura helped me a lot in branding my logo. I had a logo, but she expanded it and helped me repeat it in different things. So as my business grew here in Tampa over the last 3 years, one of the things she did is she took my logo and created new logos for the different things. So like our CEO exchanges, our success workshops, and our strategy circles, they all have the same look and feel, but they have their own particular style for each particular program that we offer.
Right, the different events have different logos, not just one central
Right.
logo. So that's a good way to
Exactly.
differentiate
And-
the different areas of the business.
And they have a similar feel to it, so you recognize that that's Juliann's brand.
So what logo formats should your designer provide you with? I know I've come across this. Fortunately, when I did the 99 designs, they sent me like multiple file formats. A lot of people just have a simple JPEG image, but I've known that, like last year when I did my awards show, I needed to have my logo put on the awards that I did, and I needed to have it in a, I forget the format, but luckily I had that.
Right.
And a
Well,
lot of
you're actually lucky because a lot of people who buy designs online, they usually end up with a JPEG. And so basically the different file formats you should have is, first of all, the native file, which is an Illustrator file, which is a .ai file, and then a .eps file.
EPS was the one I needed.
Okay.
Yes, I don't even know what that means or what
Yeah,
program
EPS
uses it.
or TIFF, either one of those three are actually good for print. So because you need for printing, you actually need like a CMYK process, and then for web, you're going to want RGB files, so or hexadecimal, and then those
What about PNG files?
well, yeah, PNG. That's for web, and also the JPEGs are also for web.
Okay, so there's what, about
And
5
GIFs.
different formats?
There's a lot of formats, but you really need to get the formats, all of them.
But those that we just talked about, though, are critical to
Exactly.
for that upfront logo design. Then, so why should you use a professional designer than just a generic online logo?
Well, if you just go to a website to pick out a logo, basically they're standard logos, and if you're like a haircutting place, and you get the same scissors, somebody else has, used those same scissors, so now your brand is diluted, and you don't know if this is Susie's hairstyle or Jamie's hairstylist because
That
it
happened
looks
to me with my handbag design company. I went and picked out this logo that I found. I think it was on Vistaprint, and the next thing I know, I saw 2 other women with the same logo on their card, and I was like, "Oh no!"
I
if
did a design a competition for mine, and you can do that on those sites like 99 Designs. But I saw a lot of clip art. I saw a lot of stuff. I think that's somebody else's logo right there, and so you got to be really careful if you do stuff like that.
Yeah,
So-
and another thing is, if you plan on growing your business, you can't copyright that logo because it's other people are using that logo. It's clip art. It's not copyrightable.
yeah, absolutely. So why should you use the same fonts for your brand?
Well, fonts are like they have personalities. I don't know. Everyone's seen all the different fonts there are. There's millions. I can't count them. So whether you have it's your personality. It's if you have a professional look, if you have a fun look, a sophisticated look, that determines that's part of your brand. You want to keep using the same fonts over and over because it gives that look that you're trying to. If you keep switching, you want to do this crazy, stylized font, and then that's just kind of dilutes your brand.
Honestly, I never thought about fonts for my business. I just
Well,
kinda-
most people don't because they end up with like a barrage of fonts, and it's just like it just does not look
I usually
cohesive.
use Times New Roman or Arial or
Yeah, those are the
Calibri.
standard.
Those are the standard ones, and then there's all those fonts in there that change the characters to a whole nother language and inside.
I mean, there's
like,
certain things like if you do an email, you have to use standard fonts that if you want them in text format. But
so this all comes back around to just branding the company. It's real
Yes.
important to have a consistent message through your logo, through your fonts, and also through the colors.
yeah.
Tell us about this.
well, you want to keep your colors consistent. Use the same hues if you're using orange, which is all of our colors here, which is funny.
Does I mean,
All
with
in
like
orange today.
like with sports teams, every sports team has those 2 colors.
Yeah,
Is that
you
what's
know,
recommended for a
exactly.
business? Pick 2 colors.
2 to 3 colors. I mean, depending on you have secondary colors too that kind of.
And you should really have the colors picked out right down to the actual
The
numeral.
Pantone color.
There you go. The Pantone color is what I was looking
so
for.
you want to
there.
know exactly your Pantone color. There's the CMYK process of it. There's the RGB. There's the hexadecimal. All those colors need to match. Now they're not going to match exactly, but they're going to be pretty darn close. And each one of them, like your Pantone colors, those are good for like if you're doing a T-shirt and you want to screen match their colors with that, or if you want to use a 5th color on printing. I know I used to work for Verizon, and they always used the same red over and over, and we had to print that fifth color because they wanted that red exactly.
And why should you have a brand guide for your business, and what is a brand guide?
A brand guide is kind of your roadmap of your brand, and
would this then be like the
this is going to be instructions.
This
is the instructions of everything we just talked about. How to use your logo.
It comes
how
into
not to use your logo. What fonts you want.
Whatever you're co-marketing with somebody, because I get this from time to time, how to use their logo. They'll send it to me, and
exactly.
because they don't want their logos misrepresented. I remember talking with somebody in here. They're talking about their event, which revolved around the color pink, and it was for UPS. And UPS is a brown logo. They had to go through leaps and bounds to get UPS to approve a change to that logo to that color of pink. But there's a process for that.
Big corporations have legal issues that involve that they've trademarked that we all know what the Golden Arches is, so
high cholesterol and a high fat diet.
That's right. Besides that, it's really important for you to.
Yeah, but that's what the brand guide is going to do for you. It tells
it's your
yourself,
instructions of how
people how to use it.
Yeah, and if you want, there's smaller companies who can't afford a large brand guide, so I always call it a cheat sheet of a brand guide. So it's a little less expensive. So you know your colors, your fonts, your logos, those types of things. I like to help out the small guy.
I have one that we built for my company that's just like a 1-2 page PDF that we send to people whenever they want to use our logos.
Good information. Laura Sayegh, President and Chief Design Officer with Laura's Design Studio. So if you're in need of a logo and more, visit laurasdesignstudio.com. Got to take a quick break here. Coming back from break, we're going to be talking with Jennifer Frazier, Creative Director and Senior Copywriter with The Creative Stable on this Focus Fridays edition of That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. 4757. Rick Toseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project. Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Pretty good start to your Friday morning. Just some minor delays on the interstates. Northbound 275 from the east end of the Howard Franklin Bridge through West Shore. Minor delays there. Also westbound I-4 from the Selma Connector over towards 275. Construction still has Howard blocked north of Cypress to 275 and northbound I-75. Right and center lane still blocked north of State Road 52. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson, Urich, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. In places around the world, there are elders who long for community, connection, and the opportunity to live with greater dignity. Sponsor an elder through Unbound and help bring a brighter tomorrow to one person who has helped us all build a better world. Meet one at unbound.org.
A 30% rain chance, high 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78. Tomorrow, a 40% rain chance, high 93.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
And we're back to the Focus Fridays edition of That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Brought to us by Juliann Nichols, CEO Focus on You Strategy, bringing out the CEO in you. Learn more at FocusOnYouStrategy.com. So, Juliann, that was a great segment there talking about the importance of a logo. And so how did you get connected with Laura in your business through a Focus on You strategy?
Actually, Laura and I met at a networking group, and I'll let Laura tell that story.
Yeah, we're at a networking group together, and one of the things they do is they pass. We're in different tables, and they pass business cards from one table to the next, so that you can actually, meet the other people. And I actually grabbed the whole stack first, and so I thumbed through all the different business cards, which are very important to have good design. And I picked out actually her card because I wanted to go and talk to her because of the name of her business, Focus on You Strategy. Anytime somebody tells me they want to focus on me, I'm going to listen. And so I went over to her table and introduced myself and said, I'd like to have a conversation with you. And that's how we got started. And she invited me over to her office, and we had a conversation, and she became my business coach.
And Juliann, what have you seen in terms of growth from Laura since she's been working with you at Focus on Your Strategy?
Well, Laura was more about getting into CEO mindset and building confidence. She's an award-winning graphic design artist, and she needed to believe that. And she does now, and she has done amazing. She's actually even improved more in her own business as far as reaching more customers, understanding who her target market is, and you've done a great job
with my process.
Process is the P word. Everybody knows that one.
She beats me over the head with that, but that's okay.
Well, it's very important to have a strong brand right out of the box. And so Jennifer Frazier is going to help us with this next part of the conversation. She is the creative director and senior copywriter with The Creative Stable. And you can learn more about her throughout the discussion over at thecreativestable.com. So, Jennifer, welcome into the program this morning.
Thank you, Jamie. It's great to have you.
All right. So tell us, why is it important to have a strong brand right out of the box?
Well, your brand is really your fingerprint. It's your unique identifier. And a lot of people don't realize that your brand is not only how you look, but it's how you talk. It's how you portray your business online, digitally, on Facebook. All of those things come together to create your brand personality. And I always like to tell people, when you think about a strong brand, to think about someone like Adele. Adele came out of the box at 19. She knew exactly who she was, how she was going to look, what her brand was going to be as she rolled albums out throughout her career. So there was 19, and then there was 21, and then there was 25. All of the imagery was the same. Nothing changed. The typefaces remained constant. So she was a woman who really knew what the power of branding and has stayed with it.
One of the things about Jennifer and me is really kind of a great story because we met at a TBBO main event.
We did.
Cool.
3 years ago when I first came to Tampa, I was of course looking for it, and somebody had invited me to that. And one of the first people I meet happens to be somebody from my hometown, Kansas City.
Right.
And I was like, what? And immediately we, became great friends. And I also understood what she was doing about branding. And people don't realize this about me, but when I first came here, I was a totally different name of my company. It was called B. Bakken Enterprises. And everybody would always go, what is that? What, how do you spell that? What is that? And once I sat down with Jennifer and had a conversation, we came up with Focus on You strategy, and it changed my entire business.
But you're doing the same thing over at B-Bakken and Focus on You?
Same.
That's correct.
I got to ask you then, where'd B-Bakken come from?
You don't want to know.
It was probably inspired by Bebop and Rocksteady from Ninja Turtles, I'm guessing, right?
No, actually, it's not something I'm really proud of, but why I did this, I don't know why, but it's basically all of my last names.
Oh, interesting. Gotcha.
Yeah. So start counting.
That's right.
So, Jennifer, why is it important then to have both a copywriter and a designer working on your brand?
Well, there's a certain synergy that happens when you have a creative team. Like when Laura and I work together, we're able to bring our creative strengths to the table. Usually art directors aren't copywriters and copywriters aren't art directors, and a lot of people don't understand that distinction. So for me, it all begins with that chief message. Often a headline will prompt an image, will promote kind of a concept, and we can get together and we can, play off of one another's thoughts and ideas. And so together we're stronger than if we were working in a vacuum.
Now, you talk about the creative process. So what is the creative process, and where does the client fit into that process?
Well, the client knows their business much better than we do. So it always begins with the client, usually with a creative brief, where we ask, what is it you're trying to accomplish? Who are you trying to reach? Why do you want to reach them, and why is it important that you do? What are some of the mandatories that we need to have within this message, whatever that might be? And what do you hope to gain from it? Sometimes there's a disconnect between either what they're saying and who they're trying to reach, or who they're trying to reach and why they think they need to. So it kind of helps them get into the right frame of mind that maybe we can provide them with some higher level creative than they might have thought they could do.
And one of the great things about this partnership that I have with these ladies is that my clients, when they come in, they don't always know what the message is, so they're not ready for these ladies. So these ladies love it when I work with the clients first, help them understand why they do what they do,
Absolutely.
what they can provide. Then they have a clear message to go to these ladies and say, this is what I want. I know exactly what I need to say. So many times they get people that are like, I don't know what I want to say.
I'll know it when I see it.
It's all about bringing out the CEO in you with Juliann Nichols here on this Focus Fridays edition of That Business Show. So you can learn more about this over at FocusOnYouStrategy.com, and also be sure to attend her CEO Exchange coming up on July 21st. It's at the 4th Street C1 Bank over in St. Pete. And again, she has an event registration over on FocusOnYouStrategy.com. We got a lot more coming back from the break on this Focus Fridays edition of That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
The Howard Franklin Bridge into the West Shore area and westbound I-4 approaching 275. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Udrick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by your next career at Republic Services.
Attention CDL drivers. Republic Services of Tampa and Lakeland are hiring. If you have CDL driving experience, apply at republicservices.jobs. Qualified driver applicants are eligible for a $500 signing bonus. CDL drivers, apply now. republicservices.jobs.
1250 winds weather center forecast. Rain chance lower today, 30% for a few scattered showers or storms. Partly sunny skies, temperatures in the low mid-90s. Going to see more of those mid-90s today, though. Upper 70s for the low through the weekend, 40% chance of rain, and sticking with those temperatures. Impact Radio, 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
And we're back to the Focus Friday edition of That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. This brought to us by Juliann Nichols, CEO of the Focus on You strategy. Learn more about her at FocusOnYouStrategy.com. And also be sure to check out one of her CEO exchanges, the next one coming up on July 21st over at the C1 Bank over on 4th Street in St. Petersburg, and you can register for that on her events calendar over at FocusOnYouStrategy.com. We're currently talking with Jennifer Frazier, Creative Director and Senior Copywriter for The Creative Stable. Learn more about her at thecreativestable.com. So, Juliann, tell me a little bit more about Jennifer and how you all became to work together.
Well, we met at a TBBO event, like we said earlier. But then once I figured out what I was going to call this, we really worked on content. And Jennifer is amazing at content. But she does even more than that. She currently is the editor of the Lake Jovita
Life.
Yes. And then you're also working with a candidate up in Dade City, correct?
I am.
Mm-hmm. Tell us more about that.
Tell me about that, yeah.
Yeah, his name is John Sidney Larkin, and he's running for Pasco County Property Appraiser. And it was a very heartfelt decision that he made. So when they came to us, it was right at the very 11th hour, and he really needed to come out of the box with a very strong brand. We were very cognizant of the fact that all political campaigning tends to look alike. So we created a really nice contemporary brand for him, and we're going off schedule, so to speak, in that we're doing nothing but TV, social media advertising, and no direct mail or letters or kissing babies. We think that political advertising needs a little bit of a facelift.
Is this your first venture into political branding for a candidate, or have you done that before?
No, I worked with Senator Victor Criss for many years. I've been a political speechwriter. Off and on throughout my career.
So the candidates out there that need some branding help, we got a resource here for you in the studio as well. Jennifer Frazier, visit thecreativestable.com for more information on that. So, a lot of business owners consider advertising and marketing to be an expense, but if executed properly, it's an investment. Tell us about how this can, become an investment versus an expense and how to do that.
Absolutely. Well, people like to do business with companies that look successful. And if you have a strong brand, you're going to look like a successful company. And I always tell people to adopt the brand that you want to grow into, so that as you grow, people will know that there's stability in that mark. But if you think that you're going to grow your business handing a business card at a time at a networking event, it's going to take you years to realize any success. If you invest in your company's marketing and advertising messages and be consistent with that, you're going to grow at a much faster rate with a lot less stress on you, and you can be more places at once. You can qualify people before they get to your phone or they get to your website or they come to your door. Much easier if you've got a really strong marketing message and you're out there in the community.
So a lot of small businesses, and especially a lot of people that are listening right now, entrepreneurs, they're like, oh, how am I ever going to be able to afford this? What can I do? So explain how we can make them feel a little better about hiring experts like you guys.
Well, it doesn't have to take a lot of money. There's a lot of different avenues. For instance, social media advertising. I did a recent Facebook campaign for a children's book author. We spent about $250 and we reached 14,000 people. So that's a really, really cheap media buy. So social media is really coming of age. There's LinkedIn advertising that a lot of people don't realize as well. Great for a B2B kind of message, or when you're reaching out to specific clients that you want to work with.
Why would they come to you, though? I mean, a lot of people think they can do this themselves. So why would they come to you or Laura or Susie?
Well, think of it this way. Let's say that you want to roll content out on Twitter. You've got 140 characters to make an impact with people. Most people don't know how to use those 140 characters to their best advantage. So when they work with a writer like me, to me, that's just a headline opportunity. And I can take those 140 characters and twist them in such a way that they're much more memorable.
I know you've made me sound good many times.
Yes, thank you. You're very welcome.
Do different industries do better with different advertising mediums? Like the attorneys all seem to use the television and the billboards.
Right.
But do you recommend that certain industries stick with a certain niche marketing tool?
Well, I think that all industries need to look at what's available to them now. And I'm glad that you brought up the attorneys and the billboards because, unfortunately, I consider that to be visual clutter. They all look alike. There's a head on a board with a headline. So nobody stands out. And I think in any industry, you need to look at what your competition is doing and do the opposite.
I had this discussion with somebody several months ago, but there was an attorney who kind of went viral for a day or two. I think he was somewhere in Texas, but he was doing TV advertising, but he was acting like a complete berserk. He was like crashing through walls and doing all this crazy stuff.
Right.
And his industry was just like, you blacklisted him. He's like, this guy's a fool. Don't use this guy. But he got noticed.
He did get noticed. Absolutely.
So I don't know, why attorneys all stick to the same, boring, headlines or, board.
Well, I think there's comfort in sameness. And, really great companies and really great brands aren't comfortable with sameness. So they really want to do something to break out of that mold and to be – people don't buy Apple products because they like the way they look. They don't buy Apple products because they think they're reliable or that they're cheap. They buy Apple because they're buying an experience. So Apple went in there and said, we're going to create this overall experience and this panache to our product that if you don't use Apple, then you're missing out. You're missing something. So they never sell iPhones and they never sell iPads. They sell the user experience, and that's so important.
One of the things I want to make sure that everybody who's listening knows, there is a Facebook group page called Focus Fridays, Focus on You Strategy. And we have a poll going on right now called What is your biggest branding challenge? And we'd like to hear from you. So if you go over to Focus Fridays, Focus on You Strategy Facebook group page, we'd love to know more about that. And you can also, while you're there, get Laura Sayeg's top 10 graphic design mistakes business owners make, and we'll make sure that you get a copy of that PDF.
Very cool. And also you can learn more about Jennifer over at thecreativestable.com. Let's bring in our next guest here for the Focus Fridays segment of That Business Show. We got Susie Pakuch, owner of Design the Customer Conversation. So Susie, welcome to the program today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So first off, tell us a little bit about this brand here, your business, Design the Customer Conversation.
Well, just to follow on with, you need to know who you are. So first of all, you have to stand in your own shoes and know who you are. And then you need to do that brand and bring it to life in the customer experience, because what you want to do is get the customer to do the marketing for you.
Get the customer to do the marketing for you. How do you do that?
Absolutely. Well, we've all been somewhere that's advertised or, had their brand act together up front, where they're the friendliest bank in town, or they're the happy place to visit, or they're supposed to be hip or whatever. And when you walk in, you see something that absolutely takes you the other direction, or they're the friendly bank and you walk in and you're ignored, or you walk in and you see something that their mop and bucket is right at the front door, and that then takes your opinion into a different place, and there's a disconnect. So what you want to do is get that customer to be so excited that they know who you are, they know what you deliver, they like you and they trust you, that they walk out and they tell other people, you have to go there, you have to eat there, you have to call her to help you with her logo. And they'll only do that if they feel very confident that they know what the other person's going to get. Because anytime we recommend somebody, we're putting our own reputation on the line. So I'm not going to go out and recommend them unless I'm like passionate about it.
Yeah.
So I'm helping you bring that part of the brand into a tangible experience.
And I've always said the best lead generation comes from referrals, and without a good referral, you're going to have a hard time growing a business. You can do the billboards and the television, but it's that referral right there, because people look for validation in purchase, and they look for their peers for that validation. And so when you ask me, can you recommend a roofer, and I tell you to use Westfall Roofing, for instance, I've validated your purchase. So, and then you can come back and blame me when they don't do a good job, but they do. We like Westfall Roofing, of course. So tell me a little bit, Juliann, how didn't you and Susie get connected, and tell me a little bit more about how you all your businesses work together.
Susie and I met through Power Stories. We are both on the board of directors there, and learned about each other's businesses, and we said, hey, this is a good thing. And so it's basically how we met and started working.
So Susie, tell me a little bit more about your background then in business and how you got started in your business then.
Well, I actually have a marketing degree from the University of Pittsburgh, but I went to work for Disney right out of college, and at Disney you start at the front line. So I worked on the ticket gate in the Magic Kingdom selling and taking tickets. And I swear to this day it was one of the best jobs I ever had, because to learn how Disney did it from the ground up and be responsible for delivering that every day to those tens of thousands of people, you really saw a company live their brand in every single piece of the environment, the systems, the people, and the product all across the board. And they had to live it 100% of the time. So it was a fantastic job, and worked at a lot of different places over there, but ended up in working with the team that helped create the Disney Institute, which is the part that teaches other companies about Disney's approach. So I was on the design team and the original facilitator for those programs, Disney Approach to Quality Service and People Management. So it was a fabulous place to start, because the mouse knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And they have created brand loyalty, brand image, but they've also added that last piece. They bring it to life and they live it.
Interesting research here that you provided me by Frederick Reinhold of the Harvard Business Review Report recently discovered that one business survey question that could accurately predict the growth of a business was whether or not you will recommend me. And not only did the customer have to say yes, but they had to give you like an 8 or a 9 or a 10 out of a 10 on the question. Anything less may demonstrate frustration with the business or maybe a lack of loyalty or something. The only way people will recommend you is to put their reputation on the line is if they really know you and believe and trust you. For that to happen, what must happen then?
Well, you know, it's interesting because when I work with my clients, we really focus on measurement, and I do a special approach to mystery shopping and everything, because you've got to stand in the customer's shoes and see how it feels and what they're going to say. But that study is amazing because, you know, you get your customer survey and they tell you, you know, you say, oh, it's clean, they're friendly, it's nice, I like the chicken, you know, whatever. And this study was, does any of that really matter in financial success? Because they would find, it was Enterprise Car Rental was one of the first ones, the branches that had the highest ratings, satisfaction ratings, weren't doing business. So there was a disconnect. So he went in and tried to figure out across industries what question really tied to the bottom line, and it was the only one that could guarantee growth and success was, will you recommend me? And they had to be a passionate recommender.
Now, I see like on, Facebook pages and business pages when they have the I'm a little bit shy of the companies that have all the 10 out of 10 reviews or the 5 out of 5 stars. Honestly, I like a good mix because not everybody's perfect. How would you answer that type of a statement?
Which is why Jamie loves fast food restaurants, by the way.
Well, it's interesting because with social media now, this is more important than ever. Because before they used to say if someone was unhappy with you, they would tell 20 people. Well, we all know that's out the window right now. They're telling a lot more. So they're looking on social media and they're looking at ratings and things like that. But at the end of the day, they're still going to turn to their friend or their colleague and say, where would you go eat? Do you like this place? Does she do good work? So at the end of the day, that helps you, but they're going to go back to that personal connection where someone can vouch for you.
Yeah. Good information here from Susie Pakuch, owner of Design the Customer Conversation. You can learn more about her at the website designthecustomerconversation.com. Got to take a break, but we got another segment here of Focus Fridays on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information. Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Attention medical professionals. Have you heard that Tampa Bay will become the first certified wellness district in the country? Thanks to Jeff Fennick's revitalization of Channelside, the Doctor Whisperer wants to streamline your efforts in preparation. So when you're ready to ignite your practice, use the Doctor Whisperer's public relations expertise to spread the word. Use the Doctor Whisperer to motivate your staff. And use the Doctor Whisperer to recruit and secure leaders within your practice. Call the Doctor Whisperer today at 727-420-2481 or visit thedoctorwhisperer.com where they write your prescription for success.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Good morning. Just some typical slowdowns on the interstates for a Friday. Southbound 275 only slow between Bush Boulevard and Sly. Northbound 275 off the Howard Franklin Bridge from the end of the bridge over towards West Shore. Do have a crash in St. Petersburg along Gandy Boulevard near MLK. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Udrich Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Lead Safe America. More than 1 in 3 American kids has lead in their blood. No level of lead is safe. Lead poisoning causes learning disabilities and behavioral disorders. Has your child been tested? Learn more at leadsafeamerica.org.
A 30% rain chance, high 92. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78. Tomorrow, a 40% rain chance, high 93.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
And we're back to Focus Friday's edition of That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Brought to you by Juliann Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy. Learn more about this and her CEO exchanges over at FocusOnYouStrategy.com. And Juliann, you have another workshop coming up as well. Tell us about this.
We do next Friday. We have a Time and Profit Maximizer Focus Success Workshop. It's Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. at Grill 116 over on North Del Mabry. And right after that, we have our Focus Fridays happy hour. So come to the workshop, learn how to manage your time, and then stay and have some wine with us afterwards.
Very cool. And you can learn more about that also on FocusOnYouStrategy.com. And also be sure to visit the Facebook group Focus Fridays. And there's a poll going on right now we'd like you to participate in. And again, head over to Facebook.com for that. Currently talking to Susie Pakuch, owner of Design the Customer Conversation. To learn more about this over at DesignTheCustomerConversation.com. And Susie, we're talking about the power of the referral in that last segment, and that study that came out that says to really gain approval for your purchase, you've got to get like an 8 or a 9 out of 10 or even a 10 out of 10 in some cases. So again, what does a brand need to do when looking at basically from the outside into the marketplace to get that 10 out of 10 rating?
Well, 2 places to start. One is, as I said, stand in your own shoes and know who you are, have that strong brand that you understand who you are and what you want them to say. So define the customer conversation. What would I want them to say when they walk out the door? Sometimes when I do measurement for companies, I literally stand outside their door and just ask people, hey, what's this place like? How's the coffee? And you learn the truth about the business right there in that moment.
There's an interesting TV show where the CEO dresses up like an employee and goes out there and meets the employees. And I love watching that show. They really get to learn some of the inner workings and struggles of the business when they do that.
And that's exactly the other piece. You put on the shoes of the employee and you put on the shoes of the customer and you stand and look at your business from the other side. We know it all too well. We don't see things anymore. So if you just sit in your lobby or you sit at your table or you walk in your door and really look, you see all sorts of different things that you think, oh, that would give me a totally different impression. So that's where we start, is stand here and stand there. And then Walt Disney always said, you don't design it for yourself. You know what the guest wants, and you design it for them, for that conversation. So they're going to walk out and say what you want them to say.
I'm trying to think of the name of that show. Do y'all know the name of that?
Undercover Boss?
Undercover Boss. There you go. I was watching an episode of it recently. The guy walked up, got it all dressed up as somebody differently. He walked up to do an install with one of his employees, and he introduced himself as the CEO. He's like, shoot. He totally messed up right from the beginning, but it doesn't usually happen like that. He's supposed to play some other character.
That's called a fail.
But very entertaining show, and a lot of good stuff comes out of that show. So you talk about the most critical moment in a business. What is this?
Well, that is right outside that door, or right when they hang up the phone, or right when they get off of your website. And if somebody says, what do you think, or who are they, what do you want them to say? There's another critical moment too, and that goes to what you were just talking about. I call it the pebble in the pond. What is the conversation inside amongst your employees? Do they like working there? Do they believe in the product? Because if they don't, guess what? Like the pebble in the pond, that's what's going to go out. So you really need to live the brand in the hiring, in the training, and in the day-to-day business. And the great brands, the Nikes, the Disneys, that's what they do.
And you want to get the customer marketing for you, and then what they tell others about you is critical to that. So I guess other than just providing great customer service, how do you guide the customer in saying those right things about what you want your other clients to know about you?
Jennifer mentioned it was an experience is what you're trying to provide, and that's absolutely true. People think of service or the experience as a person saying have a nice day, or being friendly and nice. It's everything. It's the systems that you're using. Sometimes you love their product, but you can't find your way in, or you can't find their phone number on their website, or you can't. I went to this. I actually showed this picture in my presentations. It was a lab where you went in for some lab work, and you walked in, and there were literally 2 windows and 2 people sitting at the windows, and there was a little wall dividing. And when you walk in and you're the customer, you stand there, and your brain goes, am I supposed to go there or there? And so, like most people, I went to the right, and there was also kind of an arrow over there. So I walked up to that window, and I said, good morning, I'm here to check in. And they said, oh, you need to check in at the other window. Mm-hmm. So that's an example of a stupid system where all day they're telling people that, and people are feeling stupid and already being confused. Whereas at Disney, you walk in, they have visually designed that park so you know where to go, and you can see the castle or Space Mountain, or something draws you up the street, and you always feel like you know what you're doing. So you don't want to make the customer feel stupid, and a lot of that is in the environmental design and the systems. Yeah, well,
so how do you get somebody, I know it's always important to get like a recommendation or a referral or a put up after you have a transaction with a client, but a lot of people don't want to write that for you, like the LinkedIn, the endorsement or whatever. Mm-hmm. How hard should you chase somebody for that after a transaction? Because it's always difficult to get them to actually write something for you.
I'll tell you, my feeling is it's nice if they write something for you. That's really great. And it is good to have that. Lots of opportunity. You can sign it up here. You can go on here. You can call here. Give them opportunity, because some people will text it and some will, want to call it in somewhere and write a letter. But I still think at the end of the day, it's more important if they walk out and tell their neighbor.
Well, one of the things that we use after our CEO exchanges is through a company called Rapport 24/7. Mm-hmm. And we take a video, we capture people's experience right after they've experienced the CEO exchange. And it's live and right when they're leaving and they're like excited. And it's like we capture that and try to capture as many as we can right after.
I think that's perfect. And we were talking about that the other day, because when they're in the moment and they will be authentic and really say, I just loved that. That was so great. I would come again. Everybody's got to do this. That's great. And then when we check in our measurement, we check to see if a week later, a month later, 3 months later, do they still feel the same way? So we want to create that instant moment, and we also want to create a relationship with them, a connection.
Good information on another great edition of Focus Fridays here on That Business Show. So Juliann Nichols, I thank you greatly for a great panel of experts here and on how to develop a niche and a brand for your business. So good talk today.
Thank you. If you need anything, these ladies are the key people to contact.
And we heard from Laura Saig, President and Chief Design Officer with Laura's Design Studio, talking about how to design a logo. So if you need a logo, get in touch with her, laurasdesignstudio.com. And then Jennifer Frazier, Creative Director and Senior Copywriter for The Creative Stable. Learn more about her at thecreativestable.com. And just recently talking here to Susie Pakuch, owner of Design the Customer Conversation. And of course, you can learn more about that at designthecustomerconversation.com. And also be sure to visit focusonustrategy.com for more information on Focus on You Strategy, bringing out the CEO in you. And be sure to attend the next CEO exchange being held July 21st at the 4th Street C1 Bank. And you can register for that over again at focusonustrategy.com. And be sure to visit the Facebook group Focus Fridays. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.